Tell me when
Oh,
you've got it.
yes,
Got
and
it.
we are ready, Catherine Edwards.
I'm ready. So I'm sitting here, you're sitting here in your lovely summer dress, like good old England. 1 minute it's cold, 1 minute it's hot. So I'm here in my big winter jumper. Dani, in Costa Rica, how are you doing?
I'm good, apart from my little choker deciding to come undone all by its naughty self. I'm great, Catherine Edwards. I'm here in Costa Rica, in the northern part of Costa Rica, and we are in the middle of rainy season. And it is so beautiful to look outside and see the trees and the monkeys, but it is not lovely waking up first thing in the morning and sweeping up countless bugs of all kinds, all sizes. Some of them stick, some of them just explode when you touch them with the broom, and then there's brown stuff to what. It's just a very much mixed melee of all the bugs in the jungle of Costa Rica. But apart from that, everything's hunky-dory. Huh?
Why are the bugs dead then?
Do you know, it's weird that they come in and they're all buzzing like crazy and they're all partying and they're all having a good time. And then mostly in the morning, they're just on the floor dead, or they've gone. And I think, how did they get in? And where did they go? But I also know the geckos, those geckos. And geckos are so loud. Did you ever know geckos make such a loud noise?
Yes.
They make such a loud noise, and they're so tiny, like that little lizard. For those that don't know, a gecko is bigger, wider than the lizard. A gecko is that little funny, all right, get your gecko insured. It's Geico. I thought it was Gecko. Who's that little bloke that does all that Cockney? The little gecko himself.
No,
remember? There's an insurance
feedback from you, actually. I don't know what it is. There's some sort of feedback or rustling or something.
Does it sound a bit like
a bit? Is that your internet?
No, it's my Mr. Coffee machine. Mr. Coffee, pipe down. Wait a moment. Let me just bank him and stand him in the corner. 1 second, please, Catherine Edwards. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's so funny. While she's doing that, I was thinking, what are those weird noises in the background? Normally it's one of my dogs, but this time it's Dani's coffee machine. I could do with a nice coffee now anyway. So, while we're waiting for Dani to come back, I was just explaining that normally it's my dog snoring in the background, but this time it's your coffee machine. I was thinking, is it her stomach? Is it what?
Oh,
only joking.
People my secrets.
Yeah, but we are back for our long overdue Lift Me Up, because we'd struggled to fit one in for a couple of weeks, and we are here to raise the vibration and have a bit of fun with people. So what have you got for us, Dani? Tell us, give us your best.
Well, it's not my best, but it's definitely a good one, because ladies and gentlemen, ladles and jelly beans, and boys and girls, I had the most delightful phone call last week. I was just sitting around, just working away, and la, 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 and the phone rang, and it was WhatsApp video. Who other than Catherine Edwards and Mark Atwood down the pub? They were down the pub in Great Britain, and the sun was shining, and they were absolutely trolled. They were off their faces. I think I counted 17 bottles of wine. It could be a lie. It could have been 3. I think it was close. You guys were hilarious.
I wasn't actually trolley, but we were having fun. And you know, it was so important to meet people. I know we're all talking about this and it's really annoying. Oh, can I have a coffee from your nice noisy coffee machine? I really need a coffee. Can you pass me one?
Big one. There you go, love. Here, I've got 2 of these cups.
Thank you. That's gorgeous. It's miraculously turned white in the process. That's magic, isn't it?
You know, I've been told I'm magic so many times. I guess I really am. Oh, I've just doubled one up here as well. How amazing is that?
Yeah, exactly. So whilst we're talking about meeting in person, before we get any further, I want to hear where you're at with your amazing event in October in Florida.
Thank you, Angel. Yes, the most amazing conference in the world is happening October 21, 22, and 23, and everybody is invited. And there's room for everybody, trust me. 40 vendors and hundreds of people. It's just going to be so crazy good. If you go to www.galacticspiritualinformers.com, galacticspiritualinformers.com, because what we have are the greatest spiritual indigenous elders around the world coming together with the people who have on and off planet galactic experiences, people who have paranormal experiences, people that fundamentally are just driving and riding on love love frequency for the raising of consciousness, because this time on our planet is one of the most terrifying, depressing, scariest ever. Yet the other side of that is the most amazing. We are coming together. We are standing together. We are sharing. Yesterday on Facebook, I posted a photograph of an actual being from the Pleiades, and his name is Valnek. And last year, I was sitting with my friend Elena Dani. We were on Zoom here. It's called glass walls in here. Now, normally, it's just black behind me. And when she got on, she went, "God, Dani, what's that light?" I'm like, "What light?" There was all these lights, all these beautiful lights. I'm trying to find my phone. I could show it to you on my phone, but I don't know what I've done with it, but it's on my Facebook. I said, "I can't see what you're seeing." And she's like, "What's behind you?" Now, I've seen our brothers and sisters from upstairs come through in like huge bubbles, like massive giant bubbles. There's so many ways they come through to us, just like ghosts and spirits and our loved ones who've crossed. They're not the same frequency because they're people like us, but they've got more better technology than we have, and they can do things that we can't yet. Although there's a little small amount of turds that run our planet who can do all of these things, but they held that technology from us. But now that's what part of the conference is too. It's all coming out. So this beautiful man is there in the window in this massive, huge bubble. And then Elena Dani, she took a photo and then she sketched over the bubble. She went, "Oh my God, it's Valnek." Now she's known Valnek, this beautiful Nordic Pleiadian man, since she was a little girl. And you know what? Thank God for her. And also Jean-Charles Moyen, also another disclosure expert. They did drawings when they were children. They did drawings of the extraordinary people that they were seeing and meeting. And now, Elena's 50, and she's now been sharing her diary from 13 and 14 years old, and there's drawings of Valnek. So this day, when Valnek came into the bubble here, she took a picture through Zoom out through here, and she then diagnosed it was him. He was coming to say goodbye, which is really, so I really kind of realized that yesterday, and because I was guided yesterday to post it, I've had it all these months. So I posted it on Facebook, and then, and then she posted her drawings that she did of him when she was 13. But he had to leave. He was because these people I'm talking about, Valnek is a military person. He's a military soldier on a craft that is here in part to support and love this planet, because there's so many really bad humans running our planet that are trying to decimate us. So this man, there was somebody on the planet who was believing that they were plugged into him and passing correct intel, but they weren't. And so to protect him, he was moved off the craft he was on and onto another part of, of upstairs, as we call it. And I know to some people that sounds absolutely bonkers, but so does Jesus walking on water. So does Archangel Michael. So does the Buddha. So does the Prophet Muhammad and all the things he could do. So does the burning bush from the Bible. It's time that we all just didn't get so angry and rageful. Can't hear that. Don't look at that. Don't say that. Enough now. There's enough for everyone's mind to open and recognize that we're all here on this planet. There's many different types of benevolent, beautiful beings that are here for our greater good, just as we are here that watch this, And again, so this conference is sharing stories like that, bringing proof, bringing people together who have never been able to share their stories. Catherine, that's so massive. It's so massive.
Now you must send me the link on WhatsApp afterwards.
Yes, I will.
Put the right link below, because I know there have been issues with that. But what I would say to people is, if you can get along to Florida in October, it's so, so important, because regardless of your level of knowledge or interest in some of these things, I cannot express how amazing it is to be meeting in a room, in a convention, somewhere hot and sunny, with all these people who are just spreading the love and the enthusiasm and everything. So how many days is it on for? Is it 3?
It's 3 days, October 21, 22, and 23.
Right.
And it's in a beautiful hotel. It's the Doubletree Orlando, but it's at the Universal entrance. So people can come. We've been shut down for 2 years. People haven't been on holiday. Imagine coming to Orlando, Florida, doing this incredible, first of its kind on the planet. Seriously, there's never been a gathering of people like this, ever, ever, ever. In the whole of history, never. No exaggeration. And it's only happening this year. Someone said, can you come to Sedona next year? Another one says, I'm like, no, guys, this is not just that. We've got to get out of that thinking. It's all there for us. Instant gratification. Oh, I'll go next time. Oh, I'll catch it. There's not going to be a next time. A next time isn't planned at this stage. But imagine you come for this conference, you meet the most incredible people, the most greatest speakers, Alex Collier, an Andromedan contactee for 40 years. Do you know the mafia tried to shut that man up? Now, when it gets to that level and you're told, stop talking about ETs and extraterrestrials and technology off planet, you got to think, something going on here. Anyway, he's back out in the forum. Elena Danan, a mystery for the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Huna Flash is going to be on stage. And one of the things I'm excited about Huna Flash is sharing ceremony, ancient ceremony. I've done 2 broadcasts with him, Catherine, and he does this beautiful, because incantations and invocations and his whole demeanor, his physical body shakes, he delivers ancient sacred languaging. He's talking about Lemuria, ancient Lemuria. The timing of Lemuria is coming back now. He's going to be showing the Lemurian map, the light coding. There's just so many people that we know. Mark Atwood's going to be in the audience. You're going to be in the audience. Janine Steffens from Turn the Page, she's going to be in the audience. Yes, so you come for 3 days and you just have a holiday. You walk across the street. In America, they say down the street. Trust me, guys, I'm English. You walk over the road to Universal Studios. It's right there. But you know what else? You can't see it. Because when you go outside of the hotel and the conference center, who are at the same entrance, it's all open air. I can't stand skyscrapers. I can't stand cities. So we thought of everything for this conference, and the room itself is gigantic, and it's got massive windows at the back that let in natural light. It's just stunning. Everything about it is beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's so important, and we wanted to cover that because otherwise we chat so much we never get to it. But one of the things I wanted to pick up on then, it was something I was speaking to Mark Atwood about on my chat with him on Friday, is this mindset. So you're exactly right, we've been sort of brainwashed into being able to think, oh, everything's accessible when I want it. And one of the things Mark and I were talking about a lot is just getting right back to really making the most of every experience that is available to us now. So that's why it's so important to go to these things, you know, even the recent Charlie Ward thing, and you and I are going to part of the Burning Man festival that Huna Flash is doing a little tour around. So you'll be there in Mexico with the Huna and his team next week, won't you?
This weekend. It's this weekend with Mel Kay, Dr. Christiane Northrup, David Mahoney. I would say Mahoney. He's lovely. They're all so lovely. And a guy called Jay, who I haven't met yet, and this other beautiful woman who's an elder, an Indigenous elder. And I think that's all of us. I think there's like 5 or 6 of us. Yeah, we'll be in the island of Cozumel this weekend. And
I will be there doing the same talk with Huna on the 4th of June down in Glastonbury. And again, we'll put links below, with Dave Mahoney, Lucy Davis, who I absolutely adore, obviously Huna Flash, and your friend, Andrea.
Yes, Andrea Fowlks. Yes, who left me messages at 3 o'clock this morning because she's in Britain. Yeah, she's beautiful and she lives there. Andrea Fowlks is an extremely special human being. She really is very, very gifted.
So there's all these things that, you know, come join us, folks. Come, you know, fill your cup up, fill your energy vessel up, come and have a hug, there's always something for someone, you know, there. And I would really encourage it, because I think people are really appreciating so much now, and too many people have got used to being locked in front of their camera or locked in front of their Zoom screen, and we need to sort of get back to real interactions now and start shifting the energy. So what are you noticing, Dani? So in terms of on the positive side of things, I must just say, I have just been sent something that I've just shared on my Telegram channel, because I can't put it here, can't even play it here, by my friend, my lovely friend David Cohen in Australia. Now they've just had their elections, and on one of their mainstream TV channels, I can't remember what it's called, they've had, I'll be careful with my words in this, with all the elections, they've been reporting on the elections on mainstream TV, and then they've got a cartoon thing showing all the politicians who haven't got on going on holiday to Cuba. and we all know what is in Cuba with all this symbology. It is hysterical. The only place I can really get away with sharing that is on the Telegram. I'll send it to you separately because I know you can't get Telegram there.
Not in Costa Rica, no.
Go and watch it, folks. So there's obviously these weird things, you know, being decoded. I mean, to have this on mainstream TV in Australia is hysterical, and they've all got these pictures, these politicians with their little suitcases going on holiday to Cuba.
You know, the whole world, you know, I think I do feel so positive that the beautiful human beings on this planet who all live under authority and governmentship, which is the biggest failure. It's so interesting, guys, because for me, like, if you ever wanted to understand what the word failure, what a failure actually looks like, you just look at your governments. And the reason why I say that, and you can choose to be offended, that's up to you. But the reason why I say that is, in your town, you, the person looking at this right now, if there's one cold person, one hungry person, and one homeless person in your town, in your city, in your village, on your mountain, then your government has failed. That's their job. That's their bloody job. It's very simple and straightforward. And so the utter disrespect and the buffoonery of these stupid people that have put themselves in, you know, nepotism and I went to Eton, oh, let's take the best jobs in the world and balls to the rest of you. We're not putting up with that buffoonery anymore. We do not consent as a mass. I speak for myself, of course, because there's always going to be some, you know, moaning Myrtle is going to say, oh, she thinks she is. Shut up, you're annoying, you posh southern bird. Or there's always some negative Nelly or some really nasty, bitchy man. Believe me, I get comments from people like that all the time. And I just think, shut up, and on we go, on we go, because the world's gone mad. But we are opening our minds. We are seeing the ridiculous bullshittery from the people at the top of the planet. We're not putting up with them. We're like, oh, move along there. No one's listening to you anymore. I heard something about monkeypox. What the hell's that?
Oh, it's hysterical. So
is it the latest thing that's going to kill us all? Is it? And I'm not mocking the last thing that happened, because people did die. But can I also remind us of one thing about the last one we had that sounds like Bovid? That one. That was man-made. That was made by men in a laboratory. Did we forget that? That's amazing to me. We forgot that it was funded by people that run your planet, and you can prove it. It's all been proven, and it was made by men.
Again, I put another really good thing, I think, on my Twitter, the latest David Martin thing, who explains it better than anyone. I mean, he's done all the research, got all the patents, got everything you could possibly need. So, yeah, I mean, the monkeypox thing, you've got to laugh. I mean, I was sitting there with my monkey tail on last week. I just wanted to put big red spots on my face. Go out with that, because seriously, I mean, you couldn't make it up. And there's one country, I can't remember which one it is, look at my Twitter, where they've already put restrictions in place now for monkeypox. So you're going to be in trouble with your little friends behind you. So
Billy, the big male monkey, and they're all in the trees there. So so they're saying that monkeys are now giving us the pox because it's so normal for
and apparently it's
animals to jump into humans. So normal.
I think it's more prevalent in gay and whatever you call it when you sleep with men. Now you couldn't make it up.
I'll tell you why. Two things.
I've got to show you this.
Interrupt. While you're finding that, two things. They tried to insert anal swabs for the last Bovid up your bum to humiliate you. So now they'll take gay men, because that's where a lot of them enjoy their sexual pleasure. So they're going to try and do that for humiliation. And also, what's that?
Oh, now can you see it? You've got to look at my Instagram for this. It's basically Bill Gates, Anthony Fauci pushing it up. Oh my God. I couldn't resist it. If anyone knows where I can get an outfit like this, can you?
Oh my word, that's
I do want one of those outfits. It's the funniest thing ever. So, yeah, but you know, let's see if anyone falls for it.
Well, let's also help people as well, because if we can recognize the programming en masse across the planet, it's really, really helpful. So you mentioned sounds like Wouchy, biggest serial killer. He'll go down as the biggest serial killer on the planet and the biggest buffoon. but also with the gay anal rectum position that they're trying to force now. When I was in Florida 3 months ago, I was astonished because I've just come out the jungle. I've just been living in an organic, just up here at the jungle, just healing from something. I go to Florida and bombarded with the most massive billboards, all saying, get your AIDS test, get your HIV test. I'm like, oh yeah. Is that what you're doing now, is it? And bugging me sideways? Yes, it is. Excuse the pun. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's what they're doing. So don't fall for it, guys.
Your choice of language is just perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Really. I do apologize to those.
But yeah, so I mean, I only look at the news and see this when someone sends me something, and I just have to laugh now. I really do have to laugh. Although on a more serious note, I have had quite a lot of there's a most amazing woodpecker on my bird feeder outside. I know it's not a monkey. Absolutely beautiful. And it's right outside my window. I'll just see if I can show you.
Yeah.
Oh, can you see it? Oh, where is it on the tree? I don't think you can quite see it in the picture won't pick it up. Hang on. Oh no, it won't pick it up the window, but it's just absolutely beautiful right at something. Now, yeah, I am seeing a lot of people personally who are having quite a lot of problems now, side effects of you know what. And I was speaking to my friend about this today, and it's very easy to sort of trivialize things, but there's a lot of very innocent people who are just completely living their day-to-day lives and not sort of equipped to say no to a lot of these things. And now I'm seeing a lot of health issues coming through on a personal level, so that's very, very sad, I must say.
It's just beyond evil, and it's tragic, and it is just so tragic, but there is a lot of help and support coming and rolling out. If there wasn't this censorship from all of the governments and all of the TV stations and radio stations that prevent us from hearing about holistic help that can help us in our systems, then a lot more people would be suffering a lot less.
Absolutely.
I wish for global suing of all the all of the companies that put themselves as the gods, who have harmed and maimed so many people. Because this will not go unpunished. It doesn't matter.
No, it really won't. It's just interesting, isn't it? It's like, that's why I've been spending so much of my time, because long before I started talking about these issues, for the last 20 years, I've been working in holistic health for humans and animals. And that's why I'm spending so much time now, even though it's not as exciting as some of the readings and intel and things for people. I think it's the time now to take your power back, everyone, and just say no more. And we are going to take responsibility for healing ourselves, and we're not going to sit there and wait for anyone else to do it for us.
100%. I think one of the most frightening things I find at the moment on the planet is, now that a lot of the scourge has been removed, there was a lot of interference from other realms, let's say, or other beings from upstairs. There was a lot of interference. There were a lot of people in governments who were, you just look up Dwight Eisenhower administration if you want proof. Look up the name Valiant Thor, or Val Thor, who was a man who was from another realm that nobody knew. How did you get here? He came to help the American government. Like, what I'm talking about, it's not fantasy, it's not fairy tale, it's documented history. It's there, all there. But
I must just jump in and say, they wouldn't want to hear our fantasies. Get Dani and I talking about our fantasies after a glass of wine. That would be not for this channel. But anyway, I just sort of. But no, you are so right. And this is what's so funny, is there's things, it's all in plain sight. It's like, the best way to burgle a house is to walk in your stripy pajamas, just completely blazon, and don't act guilty. And this is what's been going on. People only think it's ridiculous because it's been so blazon. They don't realize that actually it's true.
Yeah, and then they tell you what they're going to do. Like, I was watching the Canadian bloke, whatever his name is.
Trudeau.
I'm not putting that name in my mouth. Anyone who's harmed people, the name does not go in my mouth. He's up there BSing to Canada and saying, we've got to put this in place for future. Why are we planning for future plagues? Are we so stupid? Seriously. Oh, let's plan ahead for the next miserable 20 years of your children's lives. Well, they'll be suffocated with those again, and all that again. And then, stop already. Enough. You know, the people have got to say no. You know, oh, I'll lose my job. Oh, I'll lose my house. You know, well, you're owned for your whole life. You know, people are so frightened for themselves, but they forget the numbers they're in. Do you remember that advert years ago? It was this little ant walking to a big insurance man. Yes, excuse me. And the man's like, go away, like that. And then all of a sudden, hundreds of thousands of little teeny tiny ants, they come and they own him. They own the bully. It's time to own the bullies. Remember in school, like the minute you punched a bully, that bully cried, or if they didn't cry, they just left you alone.
That was what it did with me, with my twin sister. Why we haven't got much in common. We were just such a good double act for the school bullies, because I was always the smallest in the class and she was the tallest, and I was really gobby. I know you will find that really hard to imagine, but I was not always been this shy, retiring person. When I used to upset all the great big bullies who were double the size of me and they were just about to deck me, my sister would just come in and punch them, and it was a perfect double act. So we never had any problem ever again. But no, it is so true. And I think I am seeing a lot of people standing up. I think it was only a week or two ago, I was saying on one of my chats that, oh, am I seeing it? But I am seeing more people, not enough. And one of the things personally, I don't know how you're coping with it, Dani, is this realization that you can't help everyone. So when I've got sort of people, neighbors and things that I can see are going through health challenges now, but they're just not in a place where they're going to be able to accept or take on board or research the help to help themselves. And I'm having to really do some deep work within myself and realize you just can't help everyone.
I think what's so devastating and heartbreaking is that people who've been programmed and raised, as we all have, to trust authority, to believe in every institution is there for the greater good of us, but it isn't. And that's what we've come to understand, many people. And it's so devastating. You know, you look at a man, a very successful man running a CEO of a big company, and he's paid his taxes and he's put his kids through public school and he's worked hard and he's been loyal to his wife and he's been a good son to his elderly parents. And all of a sudden he realizes that he's been lied to his whole life.
Yeah.
And that he's gone ahead and taken things into his body that now are not good for him. I mean, his whole internal mechanism of coping in life is going to collapse. People are having complete breakdowns. It's so shocking. It's like being cheated on by the love of your absolute life that you've just given carte blanche to live their joyous life and be happy because you trust them. And no matter where they go and no matter how long for, you know they're your love and they're going to be loyal to you. And then you find out, my God, they've got 5 other families out there. It's absolutely just so destructive and hurtful for people. And it's so sad. And I'm so sorry for people. When I realized, I was devastated.
Do you think, Dani, on both sides, and what I mean by both sides, I never know what to call it, but there's the people that watch shows like ours and have been engaging and spent the last couple of years researching and going down all sorts of rabbit holes for whatever their interest may be. And I was having a good chat with a really good friend this morning. We were saying this also. So there's those sort of people that you've just described. And then on the almost the other end of the scale, there's the people that have gone down all the rabbit holes and are waiting for the financial reset and are waiting for the new earth to arrive. And we were saying, my viewpoint was on both sides. It's a bit like someone who's in an abusive relationship, because on both sides, it's like, how do you get to that mindset? Because I can see it happening on both sides of the equation. You know, I can equally see a lot of people who are not in a great place in their life because they're waiting for all this promised land to come that we don't know. No one actually knows what's coming and when it's coming or anything. So on both sides, it's like just that really difficult situation for people just to say, enough, I'm going to really get on with making the best of everything I've got now and creating my best life here for me and my loved ones. It's really hard, isn't it, for people to actually get to that stage of breaking away.
Yeah, and again, it's all about choice. You know, that some of the scariest things now are the people that have been working for the dark ones, the little minions. They are the bitchiest, they are the meanest, they are the nastiest. You know, they're so convinced that there's a place in hell alongside Lucifer for them, but they've no idea. It's like, remember those, this is not very nice languaging, but it was the languaging of the day, and I don't agree with it, but the beautiful women, but you know, practically naked on a lot of these rap videos back in the 80s and 90s. Do you remember they used to call them video hoes? Dreadful expression. And then there were always these men who were famous, mostly men, some women, of course, but mostly men rappers. They'd have all these girls dancing, and then they'd have their friends. And a lot of their friends were, it was reported, were procuring girls, whatever. But I remember watching a story once of this guy who was such a big mouth show off about his mate who was so famous. Anyway, the man got done for drugs as this major singer whose name I shall not repeat because he's done his time, he's paid for the crime, and he doesn't deserve to go through the mud again or be judged. But the friend of his, of course, got dropped, and he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. He was so convinced by doing the bidding of the guy, he wasn't the kindest guy in the world, that there'd be a place for him, but there wasn't. And this is what the bad people need to get a clue on. You know, you think they're going to look after you. It's like the people, like even the generals of, you know, let's say Lucifer, the generals, they're all like, yeah, there's a place, we're going to be fine. Are you sure? But are you sure though? I'd check if I were you. I would double check. So they're the scary ones. They're the nasty humans, the ones that go into my PayPal and pay people back when I've already done therapy sessions with them. They're the ones that block my website from people booking me for a private session. They're the ones that, you know, write abusive emails. You know, they're the ones that block your Zoom. They're the ones that turn off your internet. You know, believe me, these people are out there doing it to all of us.
Oh, tell me about it. I mean, we could write a book about the stories. When I first started doing this, obviously not knowing anything about YouTube and the social media and things, I used to hear people talking about shadow banning and having this happen and having money taken this. I used to think they were just joking. I was thinking, no, you're just not very popular anymore. And then when you see what they do for yourself, it is unbelievable. And it just, again, see, for years, we've been led to believe that they can't catch paedophiles because they can't find them on the internet. I tell you what, if you want to know what complete bullshit that is, set up your own YouTube channel and find out how quickly they can mess with your stuff. You know, it just shows it's complete lies. They've had all these technologies to track everything for so long. You know, we say one word and we've got it, and they've used as excuses. And I thought, before I started doing this, I thought, gosh, it must be really, really hard to track this stuff. No, it's not. Everything's linked. You know, it's just everything's trackable. So they've chosen not to do anything about it.
Yeah, definitely. They've chosen, because half of them are doing it. And that's what's been coming out. And that's what they try to hide, is how deviant and disgusting and, you know, lower than one-celled amoebas for the way that they treat our under 16s, let's say. And imagine being censored. I mean, again, right there, if you just question that, who would censor, you know, discussions on real life and reality in the deviant minds of certain humans? Who would censor that? Because they want to hide it. They want it to go away. That's why they intimidate and attack us, you know. And then I just leave one of those and one of those because, you know, we got to keep going, you know. And I was going to say to people that, you know, there's a lovely parable, a tale of old. And I did share it the other day, but I'll share it on your channel too, because it's very helpful to get a mindset around the people that have completely given their lives to Jesus. Beautiful. I was one of those. Absolutely. I like the man. I'm not knocking him at all, but he's not going to come knocking on your door. You know, he's not, you know, and we've all been given, you know, ways to figure out this life and love ourselves and love our brothers and sisters. And, you know, there's a story about a woman, there's a flood coming and the flood is flooding. And the neighbor knocks on the door and says, come on, get in the car with us. We're going to higher ground. And the lady says, no, no, Jesus will save me. The water's coming up to the bedroom window. She's up in the bedroom window upstairs. And a boat comes along with the, you know, fire brigade on it. And the man's like, come on, jump in the boat. The water's getting higher and higher. We're going up to higher ground. She's like, no, no, Jesus will save me. I put my faith in Christ. He will save me. He will not let me die. I will not give up my faith. Jesus said he was coming. Well, now she's on the bloody roof. and the water's still coming up, and a helicopter comes along, and a ladder comes down, and a man shouting down, "Get on the ladder, you're going to drown." And still the woman says, with her Bible in her hand, "The Lord said, promised, if I give my heart to Jesus, he will save me. It's the second coming, he's coming for me." Anyway, she drowns. She drowned, okay? She gets to heaven, she meets Jesus, and she said, "Why did you let me drown? Why didn't you help me? Where were you? What happened?" He went, "I sent you a neighbor, I sent you a boat, I sent you a helicopter." Hello. Like, that it's such a beautiful way to really illustrate it's time to open our mind and think about things in different rooms or in different ways. It is not insulting to Jesus Christ, the story I just told. I think it is a blessed, beautiful story. By the way, I'm a reverend. I never share that. I was ordained in 2004 in the state of California.
Wow.
Proper reverend, not just off the internet. Yeah, proper study, proper ministry. Yeah. And one of the main reasons I became a minister, one of the single driving forces, was so that I could be qualified legally to marry gay people. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you love each other, you're male, you're female, you're hermaphrodite, because there are more than two, there's male, female, some people are hermaphrodites, some people are more androgynous. But if you love someone, who are we to judge? Who are we to judge?
Absolutely. No. And I think, yeah, I love that parable. It's really important. And I think this is what's so exciting is to, I know we've talked about a lot of, the crap going on. I've got Tourette's today. I do apologize to anyone. I'll put the money in my swear box afterwards. But equally, when you look for these signs, there are literally signs of hope, of love, of moving things forward everywhere if you choose to look for them. And that's what I'm really seeing is like, if you choose to look for the hope, for the good, for what you can do, regardless of whatever your decision has been about anything in your life, it's never too late to course correct and change direction and say, oh, okay, now I'm on a different course and this is what I'm going to do about it. And I think sometimes it's just realizing it's that easy to change direction if you want to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, people are like, well, because in England, we're so programmed. Oh, look at that show off. Listen to them. Who do they think they are? It's such a terrible programming. It's across the world, too. It's not just Britain, but that's where you and I grew up. And we have had that conversation about, there's a saying in this most beautiful Irish town. Is it called Whitley Bay? It's Irish. It's so beautiful. But anyway, there's someone's fishing for crabs and they throw all these live crabs in a bucket. And then one of the crabs is making its way to freedom and it's climbing up. And a man goes by and says to the fisherman, there's a crab there. He's trying to climb out. And the fisherman says, don't worry. This is Whitley Bay. One of those other crabs will pull it down. You know what I mean? And again, parable as in, we can also pull each other down. And we should be lifting each other up and, believing that we can do more than we think we can say more than we think we can. And, and I have lost, like many people, friends, close friends for my whole life in the last 2 years who've ditched me, who've dropped me. I've had people accuse me of being a mental case because I'm talking about our brothers and sisters upstairs. I've been talking about them my entire life, but never as vocal in the last 2 years. It's all right. You find a new tribe, you find a new vibe. We don't have to claw back at friendships. If somebody can turn on us and hurt us and be vocally cruel and gossip about us, were they really your friend in the first place?
Exactly.
See where their level of involvement was, and it doesn't mean people say, oh, she's just jealous, this is just jealous. We're all at different levels, but it doesn't mean that I, Dani, am higher than anybody watching this. No. It doesn't mean because I'm espousing my own beliefs that I know more than you. And, we oscillate, we vacillate between, dimensions that we're in, that we're learning in. So people out there who were like frightened, like, okay, I want to ditch my job. I can't, I'm scared, I'm owned. I have to do this, and the kids going to college, that's a whole other big subject. But, maybe you've got books on your shelves that are worth a few quid. Maybe you've got stuff that you've been collecting forever. Time to sell it. Time to sell it if you feel like it. I'm not advising you. I'm suggesting that when you go into lack and worry about money, that you start selling things off, have garage sales in your garden, you know, to have a jumble sale, you know, do whatever you can. And it's time to downsize everything, get rid of all this clutter, you know, because when we are cluttered in the house, it actually brings a chaotic feeling. You know, we need to be clearing our minds and really making way for good energy to come in, you know. And anyone that says, oh, you know, I'm overweight, I can't do anything, I dance your ass off in your house, you know.
Completely. You know, there's always something, isn't there, that you can do? Always something. And you know, I think this is one of the things that people can really take a lot of you know, pride in, is there's so much. People have just been discussing so many different things, and I think a lot of people, certainly the people who watch you and I, will realize that actually when you take that brave decision to let go of whatever it is in your life that's no longer serving you, once you've created that space, oh my goodness, look at what can come in and fill it. It's incredible.
It's just incredible. You know, I'm a prime example of that. Literally less than 2 years ago, I was homeless. I was homeless by a situation that I was in, and all of a sudden I had no home, and I had to leave the home I was in, and I had to live in a hotel for a little while, you know. And then against all the odds, you know, I end up in Costa Rica, you know, in the jungle, you know, in this beautiful home for the time being. It's coming to an end, but you know, don't think it can't happen to you. And one of the most frightening thing, and I've never shared that story, but I honestly think that you know, and I don't know why, it just kind of struck me that I hadn't actually realized I was actually for real homeless 2 years ago. That's wild. Yeah, you know, we just don't know what's going to happen. But you know, we've got to have love and respect for ourselves, and it really makes you dig deep into yourself. You know, when you stop looking at your partner, you know, or your kids or your family members or your friends for every single answer, when you stop looking just out there and you start coming in here and you start getting hold of yourself in a loving way, and that may be firm, but loving. You know, there's been enough abuse coming at you your whole life. So why don't we just start with some kind talks and self-caring talk? Because the miracles that abound, you just don't know. You hear these stories all the time. People just, and people move on to their next, you know, their next adventure. And so many of us have been so dreadfully harmed, you know, since 2020 because of the pandemic, whatever you want to call it. Not mocking it at all, because many people did lose their lives, and that is not funny, not for 1 second. Remember, it was man-made. Nobody denies that. But you know, it's made everyone dig into the deepest depths of their soul to figure out, who am I on this planet? You know, and people are now opening themselves to spirituality. They're opening themselves to things they saw in the past, experiences that they had, and they're realizing this earth that we're on is a family of other planets, other star systems, and we are all coming together in the most beautiful way. And it's just such an exciting time to be alive if we have the mind and the imagination to look at it like that.
Exactly. Now, we will be back in a couple of weeks' time, I hope. And when we come back, you'll be able to tell us all about, I mean, Mel K. I love Mel K. She has just been such a stalwart through all of this, and one of my earliest friends that I made in this, and I must say a really, really good friend. So please give her a massive hug from me. Absolutely. Same with Dr. Christian Northrop, and then same with the others that are joining you. And then I will do the same to your friend Andrea. I've met Lucy before. Lucy and I are good friends. She is amazing, Lucy Davis, and I'm really looking forward to meeting Dave Mahoney and Huna. And we will have lots more to tell. And it's not just about telling we're not like, oh, we're going to this. We're just saying, look, there's so much out there. There's all these amazing opportunities for everyone, and all these amazing sort of energy channels being pulled together. And I'm seeing a lot of it where I am. Every single person was speaking to this lovely lady this morning, and they've got a local group they've set up in their village of all like-minded people who started a new choir and things. It was absolutely lovely.
That's wonderful.
Really, really wonderful. We know how important music is and how that lifts people's vibration. So can't wait to hear all about it, Dani. Take lots of photos.
I will. I'm so excited. I'm so honored to be asked in such a beautiful collective of such great minds of our time. And I can't believe they picked me as well. That women picked me too. So I'm really like, oh, I'm so excited and humbled by it.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. And must just finally say, one of the other videos I watched you on, you had a baby monkey waving at you.
Oh my God. Yes, I did. It was the most incredible thing. I was sitting facing out this window, and you know Billy, he's the male that comes through. He's the head of the howler monkey tribe here, guys, and he's so loud, and they're only small, but they're apparently the loudest animals in the world. Apparently,
I've seen them in Belize. They're incredible, absolutely incredible.
And then this baby was sitting behind him, literally waving like this, and I'm like, am I imagining things? And it was waving. It was waving, and I couldn't not say. Was I on with Janine? I don't remember.
I can't remember who you were on with, but yeah, it was
somebody amazing and beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful to see, and that's you know, the beauty of nature. They're listening. They're taking it all in.
Yeah. I was talking to Elena on the phone the other day, and a male deer ran past here. And the other thing here right now is that the horses that they run on the beach, they're getting a break, thank God, and they're all out here in the back. It's just like, it's magical. I feel like Mrs. Doolittle, but I'm doing nothing. It's just kind of all coming. It's so wonderful. So yes, do things that make you feel good. Go and stroke a horse and give it a carrot.
Absolutely amazing. I've got some more videos going up later that I've been taking of my lot, and they're just absolutely comical. And you know, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever you've got, you know, just enjoy it, because animals teach us so much. Well, have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for the chat. I cannot wait to hear all about it. Thank you everyone who's joined us. Put comments in the comments box below. Please let us know what you're finding is lifting you up most at the moment, because when you share just little things, anything it is that's working for you, you're going to prompt that and help someone else out. So that would be really wonderful if anyone could do that.
Definitely. I love you, Catherine Edwards. I'm so
grateful
for you.
Big hugs.
Big hugs. And bye, everyone. See you soon. Bye.